So, today we have this monstrous Webasto Dual top to, well, take apart, and in another video I'm going to attempt to get it running, but I'll publish both videos at the same time and you can either watch the disassembly or watch the operation, because I'm going to have to try and run it without any sort of ECU or something, so we're going to figure out what powers what and how to run it just using things you can buy off eBay and Amazon. No electronic things you have to build or buy or program, just things you can buy and put together. So we're going to take this apart. Well, first of all, what is a Webasto Dual top? This is I think it's a 6. Hold on, let me see. The label does say it is a 6 kilowatt, so I presume that's a 6 kilowatt version. What this is an air and water heater, much like the Truma style heater. So you can see the water connections here. I don't fully understand why it's hot in and cold out. Surely it would be the other way. It would be cold in and hot out. Someone perhaps can explain that in the comment section. So there's from what I can see already, there's a burner fan and a blower fan. There's a little fuel pump, which I've just noticed uses a wrong kind of, I was expecting just to have the normal Chinese diesel heater fuel pump connection, but it doesn't. It's got its own connection. So I don't even know if this pump works or what size it is, but we'll try and get it running with that. I presume that must be air intake. Just guessing here, we won't know until I've taken it apart. At the other end, we've got just the hot air output, and I can see there's a sensor right on the end there. But we'll get into that and look later. And underneath, I think there's just an exhaust hiding behind a thing, but there's an exhaust out down at the bottom. Right, let's take apart this giant aluminium and plastic monstrosity and see what's inside. This was provided to us by other David, who got it from his local scrap man, who we are, or perhaps, I can't remember if it was me or him that nicknamed him the Diesel Heater Fairy, as he likes to bring weird and unusual diesel heaters and things to him. So the scrap man, or the metal recycling person, what is, I don't know what the technical term is for a scrap man nowadays, some sort of SEPA approved, well, not SEPA because they're not in Scotland, he's down in England, so whatever English version of SEPA is. EPA? No, anyway, I would just like to say a special thank you to Andrew Leatham from the Colne area in Lancashire, who is the scrap man that keeps bringing other David diesel heaters. So if you require a scrap man services, just leave a comment down below. I'll get his number and I'll give you it. Once again, his name's Andrew Leatham and he covers the Colne area in Lancashire. Right, let's get this apart. Oh, it's German because it's got Torx. They are T, not 30s. Fucking hell. T20. No, 25s? No, it's a 27. Who? Why? What? Possible? Why does T27 even exist? Like, wait. It's not a 27. What's happened here? What's bigger than a 25 and smaller than a 27? 26 doesn't exist. Maybe they're just worn. Oh, that is unhappy. Oh, I would like to point out at this point that other David has already had this apart, so it's going to be really nice and easy for me to take apart. But he did mention that he has damaged one of the gaskets. Where are those little magnetic tubs? Oh, never mind. Glass it is. Because what can go wrong with glass, right? He damaged one of the gaskets inside, so we'll either have to use a bit of instant gasket or make something or cut a bit of cardboard, or depending on what kind of gasket it is. But we will do that. There's a screw missing from there. I'm going to take off these two end caps. It's just Torx screws all the way around, and I'll bring you back once I have these off. Okay, I have taken the end cap off. I'm going to call this end the cold end, as this is where air comes in, and we'll call the other end the hot end, where it goes out. So the end comes off. There's just 2, 4, 6, 8 screws, and the fuel pipe which goes onto the end of there. Take it off and lets you slide the end off. Unclip the plug for the fuel pump and move the wire out of the cutout on the end, and that just lets you slide the end off. Right, we'll come back to that. And the hot end where the hot air comes out, it's still sitting there, but it's got a plug that goes down in I presume this is going to be the hot air output temperature sensor. That sensor there, I imagine, is burn chamber sensor. There's another, some kind of sensor up here as well. It might be for the hot water. But yeah, it's that. Webasto Production Italia, so made in Italy. So it got a date on it. It does. Production date 27/05/08 2008. Wow. Right. I'm hoping now on the other side there's screws in the bottom. Hopefully that'll let me slide the entire insides out so that we can better play with it. And right. So will that wire come off of there when I think I'm probably best sliding that way. That can stay, well, let's stay there attached perhaps, and see what. Right, let's flip it up on its end. So 2 bolts on that side into that bracket, can you even see, removes that fan, and it's got a plug. Unplug that. 4 wires in, 2 wires out. Yeah, so the fan. But why does the fan have so much circuitry? Is this an ECU? Is this, I mean, it must be doing ECU things. But it appears to just be a DC motor. I mean, the output is 2-wire DC, so we're just going to tap into that for, like, I don't see a, oh, it does. I've just noticed that. Looks, see up in that top corner, there appears to be a sensor, and those, I presume, magnets. Are they magnets? Where's the screwdriver? Yes, they are magnets. 2 magnets which pass by that sensor, so that is actually doing RPM. So all of that might just be, you know, input request from ECU for RPM, and the fan actually outputting it. Right, what else have we got? I mean, I've got more plugs. Let's just, right, so that's disattached, unattached from that plate, so that'll let me slide the whole thing through now. I'm just going to tuck it in there and give it our push. He said confidently. Sure, this will come out no problem. Push a bit, squeeze a bit, try not to lean on anything. It's coming. I know I'm standing in front of the camera, I'm sorry. Right, we have released it from its outer shell. You go and sit down there. Nice. Right. Now we can sit this down. Not sure if it's got any lighter. Right, you can just rest there. We have polystyrene insulation. I'll call it insulation. We'll just take it all off just now. Is this bit going to come off? Yes. Okay. Insulation. It's off, that's the mounting point. So this whole thing is a tank. This whole thing. Okay. Right, well, here we are. Right, so I was curious as to what this silicon pipe here was that pokes out the bottom, but I think it's for, is it for bleeding or overpressure protection? Because it's got, come this way. So it's got an outlet down there which goes in this pipe. This pipe just goes over to, there's a hole in the bottom here next to, I presume is an air intake, some sort of something. We'll dive further into that bit. And then it's got two more up the top here. And these are just not quick fit, that's a quick release things, aren't they? You just push them in and then pull the pipe out, yeah. That's what they are. They just go into there. That insulation, I don't know what this is. It's got the same, at first I thought it was an electrical heating element. It's got the same at the other end, but there's no wires or anything heavy enough for a heating element. Again, there's this, which I believe is either a thermostat or a sensor. Right, okay, so I need to take off, this is the burner part of this whole, this is the actual diesel heater burning part that does the heating up. So if these work the same way as the Truma one does, when you want hot air, the fan, which is attached here somewhere, this spins and blows hot air through all of the heat exchanger elements on there, so you get hot air out the end, and obviously there's a little bit of residual heat goes into the hot water. And then when you want hot water, it turns the fan off and the heat just is absorbed by, you know, the hot water, the jacket around the outside of the heat exchanger, sorry, and that heats your water up. I mean, you can sort of have both if you turn on, well, can you do both? Because when you're blowing the air, doesn't really heat up as well. I mean, it still heats up. Right, okay, let's get in there. Let's get the burny bits off. Right, leave the top one in just now so it doesn't fall off. But we will take out this one. The nice thing about videoing is you don't have to memorise where all the screws came from, because you can just go back and watch your video. But I tend to have a good memory when it comes to remembering where bolts came from. Assuming, of course, that they're all of the same size and region. Like if this was 4 bolts and there was 4 of different sizes, then, well, yeah, would be humped at that point. Right, can I just unplug? Right, so that basically is just a water tank. Oh no, wait, is that a solenoid? It is a solenoid of some variety. Why would you need a solenoid on the bottom of the tank? Surely it doesn't look like a remote drain it. No, surely that wouldn't be a thing, would it? If anyone has a dual top 6, please let me know if you can like remote drain the, like I understand these for like pressure release, because I'm fairly sure all water heaters have some sort of overpressure release valve that lets, you know, hot, steam, water, gas escape so the tank doesn't explode. But why would you have a solenoid to drain it? Like the cheap one I had for the camper van, it was just a tap, you just opened it so you could drain it for the winter. But it's got a solenoid. Man, this looks expensive to have built. Look at those welds, they're beautiful. Look at those welds, that's a nice job. This must robot or by hand, do you think? Like, I don't even see, oh no, sorry, there's a seam. Everything is nicely done. And this end of the tank, as I say, there's it could be a thermostat or pressure or both. It could be temperature and pressure. And then the other one is just, well, wherever it went. Ugh. This is the one that goes on the hot air output, and it appears to be, well, that definitely looks like a thermistor of some variety. Don't know what the other one is. Both just have 2 wires. I don't know what they are. I don't know if that was a sticker or tape. This looks like tape, but it looks like aluminium tape left over there. Maybe this was a hand weld. I think this looks like there's grind marks or somebody just finished it. That's just a seal, not a seal, you know, a gasket to stop air leaking past round it. Right, so there's not much particularly exciting about the tank, well, apart from this valve setup, which I don't fully understand. Are they just, is it just the Germans being Germans? They've put a solenoid on it because they can. But I don't know what this bit is. Why? What is this bit? As I say, it's got the same at either end, but no connections. Like, what's in there? Because I don't want to take it off in case I never get it to seal ever again, and then we can never test it as a water heater. Yeah, I don't know. More Googling perhaps, or someone leave something in the comments. Right, that brings us to the diesel burning end, and I'm dragging things about the bench here. Right, it's quite a weighty unit. That appears to just be is the end temperature. Yes, it's the temperature sensor for the end. Right, that looks like a whole lot of little screws round about it, holding the end piece in. This looks like a big burner for 6 kilowatt. I wonder if the 6 kilowatt is the actual measured output and not just the, like, this is like a huge burner. We're talking, like, if you didn't tell me what size it was on the side of it, I would go straight to a 10 kilowatt. And if this is a 6, what does the 8 look like? So when we run it, obviously we won't have any of the safety features or any sort of control over it. We'll just be running and gunning. I mean, I suppose we could connect. Then again, I don't know what kind of thermistors there are. What we should do is get a couple of thermistors and stick one to the end of the burn chamber, and I don't know, stick another one somewhere else. And maybe when it comes to doing the water one, we'll stick one to the side of the tank so we know we're only going up to 100 and not trying to make steam and not have any explosions. Right, I think it's just these ones now. See that on the side, it's got, I mean, I presume it's just the generations it covers, 2008, 2009, 2010. Okay, that sticker says though it's made in Germany, this side. So was the water part, the water tank, is that Italian? Can anyone remember where the sticker was? Was the sticker on the, must have been the end of the water tank. Okay, what's not coming? Who doesn't want it to come off? And why? I feel like I'm stuck on something. Is it the fuel pipe again? Yes, yes it is the fuel pipe. It is the rubber doodad for the fuel pipe. Just needs to come over the... There we go. Okie dokie. Right. Nice plastic housing there for... I wish it, is this, will this? No, it won't stand at its end. It won't stand anywhere. It's a sphere. Not a sphere, cylinder, that's the word I meant. Again, that looks like more logic in there. There is more logic. There's a whole Will it stand on its end? So I was right, that is the air intake that we saw before on the cold side. That is the air intake on there. That's not going to sit. See these wires? These sit there. Oh, does it say on it what they are? That would be helpful. Can I unplug this? I mean, you can unplug everything. Let's do that. Let us unplug this so that it gets out of our way. Oh, that has not been moved in a long time. Where's my screwdriver that thinks it's a chisel? Right, we have unplugged the wires, which still look absolutely spotless. You've got to love those Germans and their waterproof connections. Those wires look like factory fresh. Ha! He said. Right, that is the last connection is for the fan motor itself. Right, so 2 bolts on the top, holding it down on here, and then there's a tab, a shaped tab like a T on here that slots in there, and you just kind of wiggle it forward over the tab, which is on there under the fan, and that removes the ECU that we'll never need ever again. This far, so let's get inside. So that's a glow plug, that's the fan motor, that's 2 things that we need. Fuel pipe, air intake, exhaust underneath. Let's get in it. Take off this bit. Ta-da! Ooh, fancy. I mean, not that fancy, it's a fairly typical spinning fan, air intake fan. It's got a metallised bit of heat shield to protect the plastic fan. Still spins nice, real nice. That's nice. Right, let me set that over there carefully. He said carefully and then immediately nearly dropped it. Just sit there. Right. Oh, let's have a look inside. Do you want a peek first before we take things apart too much? So we've got our fuel pipe coming in here, which is coming in from the bottom, coming up and going into the centre of the burn chamber. We've got a support bar holding all that in. That's the yellow for the glow plug there. Let's say it's a fuel pipe. Right, that gasket looked okay, so obviously it wasn't that one. It must be the one in the burn chamber that we're looking for. In which case, I'm not really that bothered, because we've still got this gasket protecting us. No, protecting's the right word. Right, let's... I presume that crossbar is holding in the fuel pipe. Let me undo it first then. Because there's no cutout on the body for the fuel pipe to slide out of, same as the glow plug. You'll have to tuck it through the hole itself, the wire I mean. So let's take that off, and that takes that and the bar out. The bar. That, loosen that, yes, okay. Now what? Is this another one of these bend in place jobs? Like you have to bend the whole pipe round itself to... Like, does that doesn't come out of there. How? I can't go the other way, surely. No, I can't go the other way. Let's take this last screw. We are learning together. Right, that whole thing is loose. Like it moves, but surely you don't have to bend the fuel pipe to get... I'm going to fight with this for a few minutes and bring you back. Okay, this is as near as I can tell how you're supposed to get this out. So if you pull this whole fuel assembly thing out the end of the burn chamber, there's like a bit of wiggle room where you can twist it up and turn it round and then feed the fuel pipe through that hole in the bottom, and then twist the whole thing round and out the way. Well, that's going to need a clean. Right, and then will that whole thing pop out of there? The glow plug, which we could remove just now, should just be a metal clip over the end holding it in. Please don't lose this, please don't lose this. Right, that just pops out, you've got a metal clip, retaining clip, like a circlip but a slightly different shape. And that should let you, oh, that is in there, Jesus. I don't want to break this. But that should have just let that glow plug slide out of there. Oh, there's no sliding that out of there, that's not sliding anywhere. Let's just push the wires through. I mean, we could probably just take the whole, I don't know if the whole plug will come out. Right, let's do this bit just now then. Let's try and wangle the bit out. I feel like a cutout would have been a much easier way to do this. Now, unless there's a really simple way of doing this that I have completely missed. I don't think I have. I mean, I can't see another way of extracting this fuel pipe bit thing. Like that should pop out of there. And we'll just poke the wires through. Right, so that glow plug should have come out of there. That needs a little bit of love with some degreaser. I don't know how much of this is actually pryable on. Like which bit's glow plug and which bit's I'm sure it's that top piece that actually comes out. Oh no, no, that is very much attached in there and we will not be breaking it. I have enough experience of breaking glow plugs. I do not need any further experience. Right, do you think we can get that rubbery bit to poke through? Yes, yes I do. Let's poke that through there. Right, that lets us get the plug all the way through and we can take out this bit. So that's your glow plug. That is your mesh on the back there where fuel gets pumped into. So this is why, like these can use the glow plug as a measurement of it being lit, because the diesel is coming through here and it's being atomized and burned right here, so this works. Whereas on our Chinese diesel heaters we can't use the glow plug as a temperature sensor as easily because it's not used. I don't mean it's not used, I mean it's not in the burn path once our diesel heaters are lit. But yeah, I mean if your glow plug was knackered you could just smash that out of there, but as far as I know this one still works, so let's not smash that one out of anywhere. Right, that should now let us take out this burn chamber. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Sealed end burn tube. Nice. It's not even that carbony. I mean, no. This has been running nice. Even inside there is not all carbony. Surprisingly small exhaust hole for a 6 kilowatt. That is nice. Someone steal this design for the Chinese diesel heaters. Like, I wonder if it would be worth capping the end off and can anybody run the maths on how many holes we have to drill to get that kind of pattern? Right, I'm going to sit you there. Still haven't seen this damaged gasket. I wonder where it was, because this is a metal gasket. No, that's all right. That just sits in there. Right, hold on. I'll bring you in to see the interior of the burn chamber. Well, the heat exchanger, to be fair. And how nice it looks. Look, it is not even that carbony. It is pretty clean in there. And as I say, that is an oddly small exhaust. Whereas, here's one. Our 4 kilowatt. Here, look at the, like, I can get my whole finger into that exhaust. And then on this one, which is supposedly a higher output here, I can just only get the tip of my finger in. I couldn't get the whole. That is interesting, very interesting. Maybe this blue gasket is the one that he broke. He says broke, but it's still attached. And I don't see any cracks. I'm not peeling it off to find out. I'll message you before I run it, but I don't see any. There's nothing terrifyingly, broken gasket-wise. Not in there, because that bit's not, that's attached, that's part of the burn chamber. Again, there, look, that's a different thing as well. So when that's in, all the air gets forced for the burner in these holes here. And there's corresponding holes, if you can, how well you can see in there. They don't go all the way around, like there's none on this bottom edge. Oh no, there is, there's less. Oh, there's been a lot of maths involved here. Like there's 3 small holes there, and then a space where there's nothing, and then round there's another pattern of holes goes round that side, and there's a little bit of carbon build up on that bit. Is that the bottom or the top? Is that the bottom or the top? It's the bottom, so it's just where diesel has sat. So once that's in, yeah, your diesel would perhaps puddle there from the wick. I was going to say mesh. I combined mesh and wick and got mick. So that's there. So yeah, there's forced in round the top more than the bottom. Okay. Man, this is interesting. Yeah, right. Okay, we have now seen the insides of the Webasto Dual top. German motor, 12 volt, 5,000 RPM, I'm guessing is its max output. Again, it's got control. It's got its own control for being how fast it is and sensing. For a heater that's, what did I say, 2006? Did I say 2006? Something like that. It's a pretty old heater now, but still fairly high tech. Right, next video is me trying to work out how to run it and running it without using any of its own ECU or connections. We basically just have the glow plug, the burner motor, the blower motor, and the fuel pump. And we might stick some temperature sensors on and see what temperatures we get things going. So, if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, please leave them down below. I will try my very best to answer them. And as always, thanks for watching.